Hello, everyone. This is Doreen again from the Side Hustle. And today we have an interesting segment. We're going to go into the mind of an entrepreneur. And we have one of the best people who's got a side hustle that is hopping and is popping. And I'm here to present to you Henry Gotosa. A brief thing about him is that he is the founder of a legal firm. He is Zimbabwean, and then he's living in South Africa. Josie to be precise, and he is the COO of the fastest growing church in his city. He has a channel that is Henry Gotosa, and you have to like it. If you have not subscribed yet, please go on, subscribe. And as you do that, you subscribe to us also. In short, he is a businessman and he is in ministry. But I don't want to waste much of your time, so I will let him speak for himself and tell us more about what he is all about. Welcome, Henry. Please tell us more about yourself.
All right. Thank you, Doreen. I mean, thank you for inviting me to speak to the guys on your channel, man, to speak to your subscribers, man. It's an honor and privilege. Just to be discussing entrepreneurship, as we continue to grow together and just find, ways to basically take control of our own lives.
That's right.
And to also, walk in the purpose of what we believe that we've been called to do, and just to reach our full potential at the end of the day. So as you have said, I'm based here in Johannesburg. I've been in Johannesburg, I think, since 2007, when I came to university to study law at the University of the Witwatersrand, here in Johannesburg as well. And yes, I've managed to found in 2016 a company called Labor Law Veritas. That's in Johannesburg as well. So since then, we are a labor law consultancy.
Awesome.
So we basically help people who've been unfairly dismissed with CCMA processes and with their other, any other issues that they'll be dealing with in the workplace. So that's basically what we do. So I'm excited about that. As you said, I'm also in ministry, in the sense that I am the administrator or chief operating officer of Faith Hill Church here in Johannesburg.
Wow.
So I get to do those two roles, work in ministry and also run my own business. Mm-hmm. So I get to be an employee and I also get to be an entrepreneur as well at the same time. So it does fit, our channel here, Side Hustle, right? So it's Side Hustle GH, right?
Yes, Side Hustle GH. Actually, this is a rare combination, to be in ministry and to be in a business position as a businessman. Funny enough, in this day and age, you don't get that anymore. It's other people using their businesses, losing it all totally, full-time businessmen, or being in the ministry and using it as a business. But to have somebody who is in the ministry and still having a business, and it's hustling, not hustling in a bad way, but making it work, having a full-time, being in the presence daily or whenever that is a plus for us. And we don't lose hope to say that because you are now a minister, you cannot live the life that God has called you to be also as a businessman. And I'm so excited. And as you know, guys, here in this channel, we want to educate, we want to inspire, we want to give you the best of entrepreneurs, their minds, get into it, learn from them, and see what they are all about, and see how you can restructure your life, your business, your hustle to suit this day and time. So I want to ask him a question. On his channel, he talked about how he was homeless trying to start a business. That fascinated me because remember I told you guys he is from Zimbabwe and now here in South Africa. You don't do those kind of risky moves when you are that kind of a person, a foreigner in a foreign land. You don't play those kind of games. But he was bold enough to do that, and I want you to hear how it all happened. So please, Henry, please tell us what happened.
All right, that's quite an interesting story at the end of the day. But I think, as you're saying, that there was a lot of risk involved. But I think also, what increases risk is if we don't have, the sufficient information that we need or maturity that we need to run a business. So I think what happened there was that, I was always passionate about running a business. I've always wanted to run my own business. I've always wanted to do this. That's what I've wanted to do. But, the one thing I've learned is that there is a way to do it. There's always a pathway which you need to follow for things to work out for you for things to work out. So I think when I was coming out of varsity, I think first of all, with the current education that we have, it's very difficult for you to, or at least me, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. Yes, I was studying law and there was a lot of investment, 4 years. But even that, there was never that connection with passion to say that, this is exactly where I wanted to be. But I always knew that, I wanted to be in business. But also, even if you say you want to be in business, that needs to be defined. What sort of business, what exactly do you want to do? And sometimes there's a pathway you need to follow for you to actually then identify that business opportunity. So what happened there was that after I finished my university, I think 2010 was my final year. So 2011, I got a job at the University of the Witwatersrand, Wits University. I was doing sort of research and teaching. It was sort of like an associate position, so it was an academic position. But I wanted to be in business. So I did that for a year. At least there was teaching involved because I like teaching. So at least that helped, was interacting with students and things like that. But the research part was just purely academic and it didn't interest me. But however, ultimately, I mean, if you go to university, I mean, we all want to be in corporate, right? That's the biggest thing. I want to be in corporate. So whether you don't even know what corporate means or whatever it is, but we want to be in corporate. So what I then did is that I then quit after the first, because there was an option to renew that position and I didn't renew it. I was like, what? I'm going to become an entrepreneur. No, not to become an entrepreneur at the time, but I'm going to now go into corporate. So what it meant is that I found another position, another company to be a business analyst. And but that didn't work out. I mean, that was 2012. That didn't work out for me, and I then quit that because I mean, I didn't even understand what it was, But you'd be like, yes, I think we're doing some project with ESCOM, but I was miserable because I didn't understand this, but I like the title to say, oh, now I'm a business analyst and whatever it is. But then fast forward, when I left that job, I did some volunteer work. Then I got in that year 2012. I think there was an opportunity to start your own business. Through it was some sort of direct marketing company, with young people. You go, so there was no basic salary, obviously. So it was, you earn commissions. I don't know if Doreen, those people who would approach you, in ed stores.
Very irritating.
That was direct marketing in itself. It was crazy, right? It was a hectic environment. But the thing with that is that there was no basic salary, as I said, meaning that you only get money like a commission. So if you open an Edgar's account, you get like 80 rand when it's activated. But in a day, maybe you can only open 3 accounts. I mean, if you do the math, that's not, cannot really sustain you. So that project, in as much as there was so much excitement, there were young people, you then sort of recruit other young and formulate your team. Then you run an office. It was all sorts of things, right? But the thing is, there wasn't enough money for me to rent my own place. So I lost, wherever I was renting before, started to sort of stay with friends, just go wherever I am. I mean, that place was hectic. I mean, you'd wake up at 5 a.m., by 6 a.m., you're in the office, by 8 a.m., you're out, you've gone to the stores, you've gone wherever, selling airtime. Imagine as a graduate, you're selling Vodacom cards and whatever.
That's real hustling.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy hustling, they ended up selling toys. But I think I quit after a year or so. Because the thing with me as well, I'm not I don't shy away from challenges. And
That's
I know
right.
a lot of us here, entrepreneurs,
Yes.
we are very, we are not afraid, number one, to get into a risky situation.
That's
and
good.
Number two, we can actually stick it out.
That's good.
That's sometimes to our
good.
detriment.
That's
sometimes causing a lot of pain,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But we all are always focused on the end result. That's what we focus on, and we sort of develop that threshold for pain.
That's
and
right.
and inconvenience. So that was one thing until I was just like, no, this is not working out. I'm tired of going to my friends' places and whatever it is. And obviously, one thing for sure at that young age, as you're saying that you're from Zim, from a foreign land. How can you take such a risk?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not seeing eye to eye with my siblings and whatever, because they obviously are not excited about this project. I'm the one who thinks that I know a lot, So I'm now relying on friends and whatever it is. But it was a crazy time. I did learn about sales and stuff like that. But one thing I really learned is that, with business, and you need to know if one thing for sure, you need to make sure that you're covering your bills.
Come on.
If you've got a family, I don't think in 2020 the good thing about side hustles and stuff like that, you can still maintain a job if you want. You can still do. I mean, and I was saying to my friends the other time, I think in Africa is where we sleep the most. We sleep, we've got much more time to rest.
Yes.
But if you look at people who are in the UK, in America, in Canada, they work, right? In terms of, it's not just 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like those guys are from one shift to the other.
Yes.
Even if they're from one job to the next job. But for us, somehow we're conditioned that by 4:30, I mean, dude, you're already removing things from your desk. You're no longer listening to anybody. That's it. And weekends, they are mine. I need to sleep up until 10. I need to go for a bride. But in other countries, they don't do that.
Yeah.
They work,
Yeah.
And that's the good thing. Like with us, the situation we are in right now is that if you're in Africa, wherever you are, I mean, you can actually plan. You can do your side hustle on the weekend. You can do it after 5. The good thing with the internet, you don't need to, to sort of stress yourself and put yourself in a predicament that, you're quitting everything else and doing something which you haven't really tested.
That's true.
You haven't really seen. So how many people are actually going to buy this product? How many people are actually going to, to actually buy this service? So the good thing now in 2020 with technology, you can test your concept, whether it's going to work or not. So I mean, that was the story, man. It was painful. It was a painful time. But man, but thank God for lessons learned.
Wow, guys, can you believe it? If you have not subscribed yet, please go to his channel. I repeat, it is Henry Gotosa. Go listen. He's got awesome videos on how to get financially free, how to get to your own, I think your calling. It's so awesome. And he's traveled so many journeys. He's not just talking out of just finishing school and just getting things happening. He went through processes. He traveled so many journeys on his own, even a weight loss journey. And I'm sure, guys, you want to know more of this. Go to his channel, click on the subscribe, and also subscribe to us whilst you are in the process. So Henry, with this said, so when you started your business, the firm or whichever came first, did you do it because you wanted cash, or you saw a need and you went in, or it was both? Why was that business started?
Okay. I think for me, I've always believed that I should be a businessman. That has always been my desire to be a businessman. I've received prophetic words about that and all these things. So it's one thing which I've always believed, that to be in business, I think it's because you can do more, right? If the growth potential is limitless. If you get it right, you are flexible. You can have the financial freedom, to give, to finance the kingdom of God. Which is something which is close to my heart. but I can't do that working for someone else.
Yeah.
Maybe I can if I'm Steve Jobs, or I don't know, not Steve Jobs, but maybe the CEO of Apple right now. But all those guys are still, they are really entrepreneurial as well. It's not that the CEO is just like, because remember, they're entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs.
Yes.
So there are people who even behave like entrepreneurs, but they are working for organizations.
That's true.
So it doesn't mean they don't necessarily just have that employee tag, the typical, which is obviously sometimes unfair. Say, all employees, they are people without imagination, or some of them are really, they really work hard and are really innovative.
That's true.
In the companies that they occupy.
That's true.
So I think for me, as I said, I've always wanted to be a business person, and I mean, I think that has been my main drive. And I think even the story of how I even started this business, because remember when I was, so when I did that failed business, the one where I eventually created this program or whatever we were doing, with this direct marketing and things like that, I eventually quit that. Then I decided, you know what, I'm going to now use my degree. So I started working at a labor law company, right? So I went back and used what I had, which was my qualification. So I was doing things the wrong way around because I wanted to dump something that I already had. That's the thing sometimes, and I see a lot of young people, sometimes they get into that trap. That, I mean, if your parents have invested 4 years, it's not cheap. University is not cheap.
That's right. That's right.
Your time you've invested is not cheap. And I understand the frustration is because you are frustrated and you say, how can I use this qualification? But I can tell you that there's no experience which is lost.
Come on.
There's no experience which is lost. If you did even degree in nursing, or whatever you did, even something which is like a BA in arts, Bachelor of Arts, or whatever it is, you can still use that, And I think that's sometimes the challenge, that we end up being tempted to just throw away what we have. So what I then did is that I said, you know what, I need to go back and, find a way of how to make this law degree work. And when I did that, I actually then got into a labor law consultancy here in Johannesburg. And I just grafted, I worked, I think I started working there, I think that was now in 2013. I just worked, I was loyal to the boss who was there, I was into his vision, and we wanted to make the company great. I didn't go there with saying that I want to, I was always like, if it comes, it comes. Business opportunity, if it comes, it comes. Then I started working in that company. I got promoted. I became like the manager, the general manager of that company, under the owner, of that company. But unfortunately, obviously, that guy, he was stealing people's money and whatever he was doing. So that's how I was actually then pushed out. So I remember in 2016, I was just like, I can't work here anymore. People always coming saying we want our money because, and things like that. He was not paying clients back their monies and stuff like that. Then I felt that, I can't go back. So in 2016, I was actually coming. That was in December. I'd gone to see my wife. We were just dating then, but I just gone to visit her in her homeland because she's also like from Tanzania and stuff. So I'd gone there.
Nice.
I think she was in school at that time, so she'd also come for the break. And just so I came back without a single cent. Because even that guy didn't even pay us a lot, I think we used to really get money whereby you can just share rent with someone. In whatever, but I'll do my best, scramble money, get a plane ticket. So I came back with nothing. But I just remember I was like, I can't go back. And I just called up my pastor. And I was like, man, I can't go back. This is not a good environment. So what do you want to do? I want to start my own business like that. Why? Because I now knew, I think I worked there for 3 years. So I now knew how that business worked. I now knew everything about the business, how to get clients, how to service clients, how to get them to pay you. So I now knew all those things. So I then said, I knew how to advertise. I now knew how to advertise. And I said, I can do this. I can do this business. So he said, okay, if you believe that you can do it, then go ahead, start the company. then I started the company, then as God would have it, as I said, I've always, with me as well, one dream I also always had as well was to work in the ministry. That's also one thing, that's a dream I had as well. So what happened was that the following month, so that was in Jan, in Feb, the administrator, the office administrator for our church, then quit the job, saying she wanted to focus on business. I think the business was also, then she couldn't do it anymore. Then my pastor called me up and said, okay, you are the guy for this job.
Wow.
You can run the church office. So that money, so sometimes when we talk about these things, they come together.
That's
because
true.
what was happening now is that money which I was getting from, the job which I was doing, which I still do up until this day, I was actually then using that for my bills and stuff like that.
Sure.
As the business grew. Because your business is sometimes, guys, this is not, we all have different stories.
Yeah.
But from my experience and what I can tell someone is that your business is going to take steps for it to grow.
That's true.
It might even take a long time for it to start paying you all your bills.
Thank you.
You understand? Because it's like a baby, right? And I always think business is like a baby. Any new project.
Yes.
Not that I have a baby as yet, but that's how I think. But you know what? First 1, 2, 3 years are going to be crazy. I mean, you've got kids. They'll be waking up at night. You'll be thinking maybe things are now working. Then all of a sudden it's another crisis or whatever it is.
That's true.
So now we are completing 5 years now.
Wow.
Things are stable. We are now like 3 of us working in the company.
Awesome.
People, but I mean, it wasn't always like that. Sometimes you go without a salary. Sometimes, you would wait, maybe you get a client and only get 3,000 Rand, then now put that towards, your grocery or your fuel.
Yeah.
But you need to give it time. That's the bottom line. Yes. It's just time. Sometimes it's not that it's the wrong business. Sometimes it's just that it needs time. It needs you to also grow as a person, to grow your skills as a business person, now learning new tricks. And sometimes the time just for that, what I believe is sometimes God just gives you an idea which is ahead of its time.
That's right.
So maybe you have got the way to do it, but maybe it's just not yet the time for that way to come on top. But if you keep at it, then that time will come for your idea or your way of doing things, for the world to see it and for your clients to appreciate it and for you to go to the next level. So yeah, I mean, that's what it was. And even for the business which I do, to get the finances of that business when I quit my job, was also the thing is when the pastor said, you can be the administrator, our church, I think, was only maybe a year old at that time or whatever. So it means that they were not paying me like a lot. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Because sometimes people might think that, oh, now he was working for the church, maybe things were now. No. That was not what it was. You know what I'm trying to say? Because also with that role, it's also a developing role. And I can't go and say, guys, no, you need to pay me so much. No, I need to know where the church is going, where the church is at. And I need to be grateful for what I have. So with my business as well, what I then did is that when I quit in January, I had to write a business plan.
Wow.
And because I knew how the business worked, right? I knew it inside and out. I knew it. I could go to, and the thing is, you can go to family. I went to family and said, guys, this is the business plan. This is how much I need to start operating. Then, and I was fortunate that they could give me that money, and I started, and I've paid them back their money.
That's right.
That's the
thing. Pay your debts, people.
I've paid. So that's the thing, never think that people can forget about their money. People don't forget about their money, and I think for me, being a last born, sometimes there's that temptation to just say, it's me or whatever. But I actually had to pay them back, each and every single cent that they borrowed me.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. You know, my next question was going to be, what are some of the lessons? But in what you just spoke, there's so much lessons about being dedicated, being patient, being focused on whatever you want to do. There is so much that we have learned already. But is there anything more you would tell us within the time that you started your business, from the streets to the small setup to the church setup and now to your own business, the one that you have started yourself now? What are some of the things that you think that if you had known before, you would have adjusted? And well, inside hustle, we learn on somebody else's lessons to grow ours. So please tell us, is there anything you would want to equip us with as entrepreneurs and as people who are starting business or doing business, to say, these are the things that I went through, but these are the things you could avoid? If I was there then at this time, that was what I would have avoided. Is there anything like that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I think the what to avoid, I think, is, I think one of the big things,
Yeah,
it's just to be too hasty,
come on.
just to be too hasty in, in trying to whatever, to run a business or to expand yourself. I mean, funny thing, I think we always learn, right?
Yeah.
So I've even made some mistakes even now,
Right.
funny thing, true story. We continue to make mistakes and we continue to learn. But I think one thing is that, don't be too hasty. And I'm going to say this now. So what I wanted to do actually is that I wanted to, when lockdown started,
Yes.
right? When lockdown started, and I think that's an important lesson, which I
Yes.
can just share
Yes,
through,
please do.
stuff I'm still learning myself.
Wow.
Don't be hasty in business to make conclusions. Even when things are not working for that, 1 or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, things are not working. Keep on, pushing in terms of your your project, and just be focused. Don't try to do many things, and don't be hasty to get into things. So when lockdown started in March, I think in March, right? I think that's when it started. And I think that whole month of April, I think the first hard lockdown, that month,
Yes.
we were not advertising, because everything had shut down. People were not even going to work. So for us, there were no dispute unless you're like an essential worker. So it means that we had to shut down our advertising. We didn't do any business for that 1 month, save maybe one person who just searched for us. Because once we shut down our advertising on Google, that's it. No one can find us.
That's true.
But I think some people still would find us somewhere, maybe organic search or whatever it was. So I'm talking about 1,000 or 2,000 rands worth of business during lockdown. So now what then happened is that, so I was now thinking, what's going to happen? Is what's going to happen to this company? Then I decided that, what, I'm going to invest in a fish farming business or something, in my parents' farm, right? So I got some people were supposed to, I saw them, they were advertising on Facebook. It looked like something very nice, that they would sort of, they would come and construct a pond,
Wow.
at the farm, and they would even give you some fish seedlings, the fingerlings, and you could buy feed from them and stuff like that. So that was going to be, I think that pond was going to be, I think it was going to have 4,000 fish or something, but it was quite a huge number. It was a big pond, like 20 by 20 meters, I think, with 4,000 fish, and they were going to even buy back the fish. So you don't even need a market, because they are going to be the market.
Wow.
And everything,
Yeah.
And I remember, so guys, I mean, obviously, if you're also married, take time to listen to each other, and stuff. But I was
Point taken.
I need to do this project now. No one understands. I need to do this now. I need to make it work. And so I was hasty, right? So the guys, they came, they did whatever this project. They sort of dug the thing in the pond. But so when my dad was saying, "Hey, this thing is not proper," and I was like, I know what I'm talking about. So they dug this pond, it wasn't even level. And the guys were quick. I know we have finished the thing. I organized, I gave them 1,000 US dollars.
Oh my word.
And it was even messed up because the rate was even higher. Because the rand had fallen. So I think it was probably 18,000. So never do things out of pressure. Never do things hastily. Never do those things, So now these guys, they are telling them, hey guys, this pond of yours, it's not even proper. Come back and fix it. They never came. They never came back. I had to even post them on Facebook. They just came back after like 3 months to sort of just fix the thing. Then they left. They never came back with the fish. And I've given them feed for 3 months, right? Money for feed for 3 months of those fish. But that's the thing. I went into something I didn't understand. I didn't understand it. I didn't have enough research. For some things, they look nice, right? Yes. And guess what? I had to sit down with my wife and say, I'm sorry, right? Like I had to do that. So sometimes that's what, so it will cost you the money and you need to go back and you need to apologize for what you mess up, So I think that's the thing sometimes is that, you need to take things easy, really understand. Don't just, go on social media, see, or, and that's one thing, which I've always seen, being from, I'll say my experiences, that's what we know. People just saying, there's money in this. Yeah. Oh, I saw so and so doing it. Yeah. So there's money in it. Oh, let's rush. Let's buy these, let's buy these shoes and resell them because someone else is making money from it. No, my pastor always says, you're not called to the ministry of copy and paste. Inquire of the Lord, like what is right, what is right for me. Wow. And sometimes where you are, that field where you are, where you understand, like your business idea is not too far from that. So I think that's one lesson which I've learned, as always, because we continue learning. Yeah. Just take things easy.
Guys, if you have not subscribed to his channel, what are you waiting for? So much depth and so much knowledge, a well of knowledge here. We're not trying to profess that we have it all. We are being real with you, telling you our challenges, telling you how it is in this world. So please subscribe to his channel. You will learn more and more and more. So my final question to you, and now that I see, if we're not going to be rushing, if we're not going to be seeing opportunity, we as entrepreneurs see one thing and we just want to move into it. So are you saying that, do we get content with where we are, or do we still pursue some other things? What I'm trying to say is, now that you wanted to pursue this thing, which looked good. I mean, if the 10 out or 10 over came out, it would have been a big success. But with you being bit in the lower rear of the body, my question now is, do you stop pursuing? Do you close your mind to other business and just concentrate on the hustle that you have now, or do you pursue other hustles?
Yeah, so I think, most important thing in life, or in business is you need to focus, right? So if you are doing something, let's say you're doing something, give it time, give it an opportunity and learn it. So for example, as I said, we are in year 5 right now of, labor law veritas. And I'll pursue other opportunities. But I think what I've learned is that you need to make sure that the opportunity is a real opportunity.
Come on.
You need to have mentors, ask of people in that industry. Guys, there's nothing new under the sun. It's very difficult that, you are the one who knows this is the first time, this has ever been done. It's very rare. Maybe, I don't know, man. I don't want to limit. But I'm just saying, sometimes, there's always someone who probably knows something about that industry. Maybe it has evolved a bit, but the core, the foundation, there's always someone else who will know about it. And it will be helpful if you could, inquire of people and try to get the right opportunities. I think there's nothing wrong in trying to, I'm still believing God for the best, for other bigger and better things at the end of the day, other industries. But I'll wait for God to show me the steps.
That's right.
Of how it's going to work out. I think I'm one person that, coming up, it's as I said to you, even in that other thing I was doing, I was there for a year. Even when other people were saying, hey, this thing is going nowhere, man, you've lost so much weight. Yeah. Why are you struggling like this? You've got a degree. How come you're selling airtime in the streets? Like, what do you mean there's a business opportunity here? There's no business. You're selling accounts in Edgar's, bro. I mean, are you okay? So I'm one person who has always been like, even when I was working for my previous boss, people were like, hey, can't you look for other firms in Sandton? Why are you just there getting... But for me, the reason I was there was not for that, that low salary I was getting, was for me to walk into my business, walk into my destiny. That was the reason I was there. Other people will be there like, they are just paying us peanuts here. Yeah. They're always complaining about the boss, always doing all these things. But that's not the reason they were there. They were there to learn. So yes, I wasn't there for those peanuts. I was there to get my own business. That's right. That's the reason why I was there. And it took like 3 years. But remember, I didn't even go there saying I want to learn this business idea. I was left out because of circumstances. So I sincerely believe when we walk, and you know what, there's this one song I like, I'm not trying to be too churchy here. I don't know the audience.
Bring it on, we good.
But I think there's this song, I think from Sinach, I think. I think it's called, I don't know if it's called Overflow or something. I think it's called Overflow. I think that song from Sinach, when she's just saying, yes, there's an overflow, right? And she talks about, moving at the speed of the Holy Ghost, right? Moving at the speed of God. You need to move at the speed of God. Don't move at your own speed. Don't move ahead of God. Don't move behind God. Right?
Yes.
Move with God. Lord, what am I supposed to be doing? And you will see when the opportunities, real opportunities, that you are at peace with. When you can tell your wife, and your wife will be okay with it. You can tell your husband, you guys pray together. I mean, as you said, I could have hit a big time and I'll be like, yeah, I'm the man. Yeah. So next time you just need to listen to me. But I had to eat humble pie. God made me to eat a humble pie because of that decision which I had made.
Yes.
But I think, obviously if you're married, seek understanding, seek to just understand each other, do things together. But obviously if you're single, also you need to obviously hear from God and be at peace with these decisions. So I think, that's one thing, always be hungry, man. I'm hungry, man. I believe God has called me to be a billionaire because the work of the kingdom
is brother.
Vast, it's great, right? That's what I believe.
Yes.
But I need to, to move at the speed of God. I remember it was, Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa. They asked him and said, hey, Aliko, why didn't you go into oil and gas before? Like you guys have billions.
Yeah.
In the Dangote group has billions of US dollars. Why couldn't you just take that and buy an oil field? Why couldn't you do this? And he said, you know what? I don't get into business that I don't understand.
That's right.
That's one thing. So yes, we have billions there, whatever, but if I'm not understanding this business from A to Z, how do I get the clients? How is this thing? But I'm not going to get it. And he said that it's only when I personally have understood, when I can go to the board and say, guys, let's move into this direction.
Come on.
And now they're going to be going into refineries and whatever they're going to be doing.
That's true.
But so that's the point, right? Is you need to understand it. And sometimes when you are working for someone else, that's the best place to be because you get to learn getting paid. So that's the thing. When you're working for someone, you are there to learn.
That's true.
And not only you're not even paying fees, they are paying you every single. But it's all about your attitude. If you think, these people are so difficult, they don't appreciate me, you are losing the plot. Because it's God who's the one who promotes us. And in due time, God will promote you into your own thing. But you need to be faithful with what someone else is. That's one thing for sure. You need Because remember, when you are now working for yourself, now it's game time.
That's true.
You know, for us, we work for ourselves. It's about, you know what, the people who you are accounted for to are the bills.
Yeah.
You are accountable for people's salaries.
That's true.
You know, are you going to meet the salaries or not? Are you going to be able to pay for the rent or not? But also, most importantly, not that you need people chasing you, but are you meeting your goals and aspirations?
Come on.
Or, you know, or you're just at the end of the day wasting time, you know? So I think, you know what, be hungry, but also where you are, do it 100%.
Come on. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in still. I hope you got a lot. If you didn't get all this, please go back and go watch again until it gets and drops into your spirit and move forward. So we've come to the end of our interview. We will definitely, if he will allow us, have him here. But we also want him to come back and tell us about ministry and business, doing that hand in hand. Today we focus more about the business and the hustle, but we also want to know, and you know, our other segment that is about operating under the kingdom principles. We will have him one of these days that he come and talk to us more about that, because I mean, if you could all hear what he had to say, it's not just a business thing. It is all intertwined. If we are Christians, if we are people of the kingdom, we need to also do our business in the principles of the kingdom. So thank you so much for having us in your homes and on your TVs and on your phones and whatever it is. And we want to also thank our guest, Henry, so much for the depth of knowledge and the impartation and in the inspiration that you have given us today. We have no choice but to move ahead and prosper and do better in our businesses. If you had to do it whilst you had nothing, then if we have something and we are holding on to, we have to do it well. You've taught us to be faithful. You've taught us to be pushing. You've taught us to not let go and be focused on what we have been called, or even in the business that we are doing. Do you have any final words to anybody who is still thinking, maybe this is still not for me, or maybe I'm just moving at a rate that is not going to work? Do you have any encouragement or any word to tell us as your last words?
Yeah, I think, you know what, God has definitely, placed it in each and every one of us, to put our lives in our own hands. I sincerely believe that each and every one, even if you look at the past, we have always been entrepreneurs. We have always, as Africans, we've always been, whether it's you are a hunter-gatherer, whether you were a hunter, you would trade that, barter trading. That was entrepreneurship. Each and everyone has an opportunity to do that. You have got an opportunity, whatever gifts and talents. And now more than ever, when people are facing an unprecedented rate of retrenchments, all over the world, it's time for people to step up and put their lives in their own hands, their families' lives in their own hands, and start, trading their services, their skills, their knowledge for value, for money, so that you can actually help your own, family at the end of the day, and take your lives into your own risk, into your own hands. I know some people can argue that not everyone is supposed to be in business, but I don't think so. Because even if you are at someone's job, remember, you're trading your time. That's a business. You are actually a business.
That's
because you're trading something for money, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that they can decide to dismiss you or retrench you if you are no longer making financial sense for them. So I think everyone, has got the ability to I know people can be scared in terms of, I think the thing is just fear. How am I going to get clients? I'm not good at sales. I don't know how to talk to people, and whatever it is. But those things you can learn once you've made that decision and you have identified. But remember, the trick is in identifying the opportunity.
That's right.
And also saying, how can I work this opportunity? But also, most importantly, inquire of the Lord, right? Inquire of the Lord, guys. I'm not going to sort of try to be smart and be a worldly person, because I'm not a worldly person.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth. If you are a believer, that's where it's at. That's what's happening. You need to move, with God, and God will open doors for you. Favor of the Lord will come upon you, and you be a success in your business and whatever it is. I mean, and if you feel that things are not going well, because remember, sometimes I think we become too spiritual about it, but you still need to implement those principles of business.
That's right.
You understand?
Yes.
You know what? One thing I know is that if a worldly person, someone who doesn't have Christ, is doing something, and someone who has Christ, a child of God, is doing the same thing with the same level of skill, the same level of customer experience, service, and there is no way that these two can be the same, because the child of God has got favor. So it's never going to happen. The problem is that we are not doing as much as those who are in the world are doing. That is the problem. If we do as much as they are doing, but the truth is that we're not going to get the same results. Our results are going to be more because we've got that extra. But the problem is sometimes we just want to rely on the extra, on the super. But you can't just rely on the super when there's no natural.
Yeah.
You still need to do your natural part.
That is
then
good.
The super will come upon that. With the right way, the right, attitude of business, the right accountability and things that you need to do. If someone gives you a job, do it well. Don't let people complain that, when you give Christians, they just take you for granted.
Yes.
Let's us do our part. Let's us do things 100%. Then let's see what God can do. Right. So I think, but also, if you feel that, you are struggling, going round and round, just reevaluate. But one thing I tell you, if God is the one who gives us the desires of our heart, and if God is the one who gave you, has called you to business, you will be successful.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It feels like it just started 2 minutes ago, but it's been almost an hour. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your impartation, inspiration, and motivation. And we as I said already, we can only go forward and do better in our own businesses and in our own hustles. So Henry, I am so excited for this. I'm so excited for our subscribers. I'm so excited for anybody that is listening, that there is hope. Sometimes we get tired and frustrated, but we can clearly see there is hope. It's not only about today. What we ever do, we build on. It's a day in and a day out, and a focus and a dedication. And as you said, God also, because he's on our side, there is no way that we cannot do well. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you very soon. And guys, have a good evening and enjoy your please go back and go and listen to us again. If you haven't subscribed to Henry Gotosa's, I will link all his social media handles there. Go like him, go subscribe to him, and go listen to him. Even on other videos that he has done, you will be so blessed. Thank you once again for listening to us, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Cheers.